Hey everybody, here's a quick update video for the Jeep, part number 12. Enjoy. I've also gone ahead and ordered all new bolts for the front fenders. They're 5/16 by 1 and new washers. And I bought a new hardware kit for the body. Once you put that on there, there's some rubber pads that go between the frame and the body. And then I've got, again, new hardware for that. And we still have to work out the rest of the brake stuff, but that's the latest update. So next video will probably be painting or showing what the finished product looks like as far as the hood, fenders, and frame and all that for the windshield, freshly painted with the OD2430 paint. And then I'll show a video of us mocking the body up for the hat channels that still need to be welded on. So what our plan is to get the chassis over to my buddy's house. We're gonna lay the body on there, mark where the hat channels are supposed to be in their proper spots, and then he's gonna pull the body back off. We're gonna weld those in, and then body's gonna go back on again to get it back over to my garage. And then we're gonna pull it back off again for paint. So it's gonna be kind of a drawn out process, but it is gonna be leading to some good end results. So if you have any questions, comments, or anything, let me know. Thank you for all those who subscribe to the channel and have followed it. And this video, again, I'm sorry for it being so chopped up. It's a compilation of different videos that I shot while I was trying to do some stuff on it for the last month or so. So enjoy. All right, it's time to start stripping down the grill, the fenders, and the windshield frame, because we're gonna prime and paint these things hopefully in the next 5 to 6 days. So right now I'm working on getting the headlamp wire guards off. It's a 7/16 bolt, top and bottom. I'm going to pull those off, and then we're going to go after these bezel rings on these lamps. All right, welcome back to the messy garage project. So I just want to give everybody an update to where we're at. The windshield frame has been torn down and detrimmed for the most part. We've primed it and prepped it for paint. We've got a little more priming touch up I've got to do on here for some spots that needed some smoothing out. But we've got the fenders, and we've also got the hood right here ready for primer and then paint. I'm gonna put some still frame photos in the video to show you where we're at with the body. A friend of mine is rebuilding it. We're probably about a month away from it being done, and then we're gonna start mocking this thing up on the frame with all new hardware. Okay, good morning everybody. We're gonna go ahead and get started on some stuff on the Jeep today. I'm gonna go ahead and first remove the 2 bolts that I put in there for the brake lines to get this rear Dana 44 cover off. And we're gonna go ahead and put the new ring gear bolts in. I'm gonna go ahead and check torque on all the old ones that are in there, and we'll go ahead and show you that process, and then we'll put the cover back on, new gasket, fill it with gear oil, and then I'm gonna get some help today to bleed these brakes, so we'll get started on that now. Sorry for all the glare. I'm just gonna take these 2 bolts out. So these 2 bolts I put in here that hold the bracket for the diverter, I guess, not a diverter, but a splitter for the brake lines that come from the forward portion to the rear. So go ahead and take these out, and this cover should fall off. I'm gonna have to get a wrench on that one. Okay, So as you can see, I went through here a couple months ago to change the gear oil out of the front rear axles, and I discovered that we had a ring gear bolt, right? So here's your carrier, your ring gear. These bolts are torqued in here, and they're supposed to be, and then there's these little clips that get bent down, they get peened down to keep them from backing out. This one somehow backed its way out, so I had to buy a replacement bolt. So I'm gonna go ahead and install that. And what I'm gonna do before we button this back up is I'm gonna push the Jeep forward enough to go around for one full rotation on this ring gear, and I'm gonna just double check the torque on here. It should be 55 pounds on each one of these bolt heads. So we're gonna go ahead and do that and see how it comes out. All right, so I got the ring gear bolts, got the new ones in. We're all torqued up, and I went through and rotated it and checked that all these retainers are properly pushed in so that the back screws won't back themselves out, the bolt won't back themselves out later on. So went ahead and cleaned up our gasket surface as well. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up this one as well. So we're just gonna go ahead and take some of this Permatex that I've got. This stuff seals in less than 5 minutes, so we'll be able to fill this thing up with oil today. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put gasket material on this, lay our gasket on there, put some on this into with the screws in it, and then go ahead and apply it to the differential housing. So we'll show that here shortly. Here's one thing that I want to show everybody before we seal this back up. Now one of these ring gear bolts managed to back its way out over time. My assumption is that this happened sometime during either when the thing was in military service or when my family used it for the 7 to 10 years or so that they used it before they parked it. A couple things I noticed is our carrier has got some damage right here, right? The ring gear does not have any damage that I can see at all. The other side of the carrier has some missing material right there. Nothing crazy. It operates, it actually should still operate just fine. And you may not be able to see it, but the pinion gear, which is this gear way back here that mates up with this ring gear, had some little bit of damage to it. Nothing crazy. I think it'll still function. Right now, the plan is to just use it. If this thing fails sometime during the time that I'm driving it, I'll just pay to have this thing rebuilt professionally. My guess is that it's going to be fine though, and the reason I think that is because I feel like this damage and that bolt came loose and was in there well before that my grandparents parked this thing. So I'm going to work under that assumption, and if it fails, it fails. That'll be another video down the road. All right, so I managed to bleed the brakes on the Jeep. I did notice, even though I have swapped the wheel cylinders on all four, this one is faulty. I don't have any leaks in any of my new hard lines. Excuse me. But there is a leak right here. So this wheel cylinder is going to have to be replaced. It's brand new, which is a shame. It's got no miles on it, but I'm going to have to replace it. It does have a slight leak. One of the eccentrics on here as well, which is part of dialing these brakes in and getting them properly adjusted, they have these cams that are on the top on both the front and the rear of your backer plate. Let's see down there as well, right? Try to point at it right there. There's two right there. There's one on the front and there's one on the back. And in order to adjust these brakes, it's not like your traditional set of brakes on a newer vehicle. What you're looking at is there's actually a little cutout right here in the drum, and there are certain specs that you have to have these shoes pushed out to align properly and be aligned properly within your drum for proper wear. So I'll try to include a video on that. I actually found another video on YouTube where it shows how to do this, but you basically will loosen all the cams in the back, loosen all the bolts, and turn the cams or the eccentrics until it pushes the shoe out on basically 4 points. So let's go point A, point B, point C, point D, right? and you'll turn this drum and measure the thickness with a feeler gauge. So it's 0.8 for the top and 0.5 for the bottom. 0.08, 0.008, and 0.005. So thousandths of an inch. So you'll adjust those and then tighten these bolts back up in the back once you've got everything in spec. So I will try to show a video of that when the time comes. I was able to get the back ones done, but I still need to do the fronts. And this eccentric right here, this cam, you can see where somebody at one time, it's supposed to have a flat blade, like a flat edge on it where you can grab it with like a 1/4-inch wrench. Unfortunately, somebody broke it off sometime during the life of this vehicle. So you can see this one has a flat edge on it for a wrench. So I'm gonna have to order some new eccentrics, a new wheel cylinder. We were able to get the rear diff all buttoned back up, and we fortunately have no leaks in that, so we are solid on that one. For these eccentrics, you have to have a special wrench. So I actually went to Harbor Freight and bought a set of offset box wrenches to reach into the lower portion of this adjuster back here, because the backer plate, you can see how flat it is. The screws are back there. The bolts heads are back there. It's really difficult to get a regular wrench in there, so you have to have an offset box wrench to loosen those up properly without basically stripping them.